Back in the year 2009, I was able to take this class called the Coastal Area Writing Project. I loved writing in college, and then I was able to take this class again, and it really instilled some life back in me. I was given an opportunity where I can actually write and come up with some ideas and be creative, and I was praised for it, and I really found my love again. I was forced to read this Stephen King's book on writing, and it really gave me some pointers, it really motivated me, and I came up with this idea called Robotopia. Um, I finished the script probably around August to about, I don't know, maybe about the beginning of 2010 at some point. I was done with it. I came up to about 25 to 30 chapters. Who knows exactly how long it actually is because, the text size is all different. But it was a massive work. And I put it away for a couple months. I get the cobwebs dragged off. Then I went back and I started editing it. I came up, and this is what I started working on. For every morning or so, I take out this little manuscript and I start annotating and giving pointers on it. And I ended up putting away, and I was like, well, I'm never gonna be able to get this done. Something else always came on up. I came up to a point where I started learning how to work with iBooks and publishing my students' work, and I said, this is the time I'm gonna be able to get it done. I'm just going to publish it one chapter at a time and include some interactive media, pictures that I've made, and other things as well. So I like to take this time to cover some things that I did in the book, what inspired me, and how to get me going into the story, as I tell you all about the first chapter of Robotopia. I grew up being a big fan of the Mad Max films, or any films that kind of take place in the post-apocalyptic future. So I knew that was going to be my setting. There's this thing called the Great Wars, and basically the whole world's been get done fighting itself, but they use machines to fight the battles for them. These machines are called 111s. I was inspired by the 888s from the Terminator TV show at the time that I was starting to write this, and they were made by the Toyo Takara company. Takara was the toy company who actually made Transformers, which was also a big inspiration for me for this. As I started going on into the toy line and kind of coming up with this backstory, I decided that there was two factions. Basically, they were cyborgs and androids. Both of them were made very similar in the style and design to how Autobots and Decepticons were made. Also, another big Transformers influence for me. I like to think that knowledge is power is kind of like a recurring theme throughout the story, and due to the fact that the machines found out about the history of mankind, such as the Stono Rebellion and slave uprisings, even going back to Spartacus, the humankind, such as the main antagonist, Reverend Todd, prevented how much knowledge that the machines got. So they had to really control the interactions that they have with mankind and how much knowledge that they absorb. I was really inspired by, at the time, there was going on with a lot of issues going on with marriages and what rights certain people had. And I remember hearing that going back to when George Lucas came out with Star Wars, you want to have something that's really big the current time to have a root in all science fiction. So I try to use the struggles that the robots are going through to be with together, as well as kind of make a parable or a parallel at the time. So that was my next big inspiration behind that is knowledge is power. And you could see the humans that did not get knowledge, were not educated, they've lost out jobs that required very little education. So there's a growing faction between those who have and those who do not have.